From the studios of Staten Island Community Television, you are watching In the Bleachers, the TV show for the world's most passionate sports fans. Hello, everyone. I'm the original bracket buster, also known as Jaime Hixson, joined hopefully by my sidekick on the line.
The hottest, baddest, sexiest man on cable R6 TV, the one that makes your TV ratings go up, the one, the power of tower, the one that brings the ladies on. That is I, Hector Bosa. That is truly I. How you doing?
I'm good. Just
Any news in sports? Because I'm seeing a lot of things happening, such as C.J. Marshall or Mosley.
Yeah, C.J. Mosley of the Jets is getting a lot of interest from other teams.
And let me ask you something. What do you think the idea is with them? What do you think the Jets are trying to do right now?
My guess is that the Jets are trying to put together a package to see if they could get themselves some draft picks. That would be my guess. And maybe get a frontline player in return.
So you think they have no chance of getting that kid that was let go or trade for him?
No, there's no chance of that. Not anymore.
What happened?
Well, it depends on who you're talking about.
I think the Texans, the quarterback.
Oh, you mean Deshaun Watson?
Yeah.
Well, for starters, Watson never really said that the Jets were his first choice. And secondly, it looks like the Jets have kind of cooled a little bit on wanting to get the kid.
But at this point in time, you're saying that they're trying to add just getting draft choices or draft picks. They're
right
not
now,
really into signing people.
Right now, their idea is to get draft picks and hopefully a frontline player.
You know, farewell Drew Brees, his 7 matchups against the New York Jets. Drew Brees is doing commentating right now, correct?
Yeah, he recently retired over the weekend, and he just got a new job with NBC, not only for Monday Night Football, but also as the lead analyst for Notre Dame football, and he might even do some stuff for the Olympics too.
Do you think that the Olympics will ever have football as an Olympic sport?
I doubt it.
Or will it be like baseball?
I doubt that it's going to be like baseball. At least baseball was a competitive sport for several Olympics, but unfortunately, it became a victim of massive cuts that the powers that be at the Olympics decided to make.
Well, I'm hearing this one because it says here, ESPN analyst pitches blockbuster 3-way trade involving Jets, Sam Darnold, Seahawks, Russell Wilson.
Really?
But I'm going to give you the New York Jets, okay. And it says here, which is kind of funny, in this scenario, obviously, the Jets holding the lesser 2021 first draft choices, blah, blah, blah. But Wilson has said he's willing to accept a trade to one of the 4 teams: the Bears, New Orleans Saints, Dallas Cowboys, and the Los Angeles Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders. Nobody wants to go to the Jets right now.
Because they're a train wreck.
Oh, yeah, But, the Cowboys came off the board last week when Dallas signed Drew Prescott for $160 million.
Mm-hmm.
The Saints are ready to move forward with James Whitson and Tejon Hill following Drew Brees' retirement. So they're probably trying to get Young again. Is that a young team or is that an old team?
Who?
The team that Drew Brees was on.
The Saints?
Yeah.
It wasn't a completely old team. I mean, they had their seasoned veterans on the squad, but it wasn't completely veteran. It wasn't completely old.
Be happy with Derek Carr.
Are they really happy with Derek Carr?
Yeah, that's what it says here, but
I don't buy that for a second. Just like I don't buy those Russell Wilson to the Jets rumors.
You know, I mean, because it says here, okay, Chicago Bears get quarterback Russell Wilson. The New York Jets get back linebacker Mack, second-round pick Fuller, and wide receiver Robertson.
Are you talking about Khalil Mack?
Yep. Kyle Robertson and wide receiver Allen Robertson. Kyle Fuller and Allen Robertson.
Now, that would actually make the Jets better because Khalil Mack is an all-pro linebacker. Allen Robinson is an all-pro receiver. And Kyle Fuller is a steady receiver who can do things for them in the slot.
And the Seahawks would get Sam Darnold, their first-round draft pick. In this scenario, the Jets holding on to the lesser of the 20. But you see, what do you think of that?
See, that would kind of make sense because the Bears have been needing a quarterback for roughly 30 years. And them getting Russell Wilson, I think, would make them so much better.
But then who did it just get as the quarterback, unless they drafted him?
They could probably get the kid from Brigham Young.
Yeah, but they would have to get. They would have to, according to this, give up that first-round draft choice. It's a Sam Darnold third first-round draft. They would have to give out their draft choice.
That would be tough because the Jets, with the number 2 pick, are really playing with house money
pick
here.
But you see, if they got rid of their first-round draft choice, then they really would have nobody. Because then who are they going to go after as a quarterback? Because nobody who wants to play for the Jets. You know,
that's tough. That's really tough.
It's as if, the way all of a sudden everybody wants to go to the Brooklyn Nets.
Yep.
And that's funny. Isn't that a hot team right now? Do you think?
The Brooklyn Nets, yes, they are.
Quite
frankly, I don't know how they do it. I mean, I know how they do it. They do it with Kevin Durant and James Harden and Kyrie Irving, and also.
And don't forget now the fourth guy.
Yeah, Blake Griffin, who hasn't even played a game yet.
But when he does, and they were trying to get someone else, and they wanted to trade Spencer Dinwiddie, who's hurt.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's an all-star team. When was the last time you seen an all-star team like that?
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman.
Don't forget the guard.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see, though, remember how I was telling you that if you build it, they will come?
Mm-hmm.
the Nets have built it properly. Now, how long are they going to have them for? Because they're not young people who they have. And right now, they want to win now. The Nets want to win now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in your opinion, what do you think the chances of the Nets winning the Eastern Conference and going on to the finals, second or third round, and then winning it, going all the way for the championship?
As far as winning the championship, if the Lakers are in the finals, the Nets have no chance of beating the Lakers.
Why do you say that? They got 4 All-Stars.
Well, the Lakers also have LeBron James and Anthony Davis.
That's 2 people. Okay.
And they also have a group of role players that can really complement those 2 guys tremendously. And there's a strong possibility that the Lakers might be adding someone at the trade deadline. We don't know who it is, but there's a strong possibility that they're going to get somebody either in a trade or as part of a buyout.
Do you think that there'll be any blockbuster trades? Because there aren't that many good people out there that you can say that they're the caliber of an Anthony Davis.
There's always a chance for some team to make a blockbuster trade, yes. But the pieces have to fit, and the money would have to fit as well.
But the other thing is that who out there, who would you consider a blockbuster person? Because Victor Oladipo is not a blockbuster guy. Beasley is not
but he's a really productive player.
Guy. I mean, yeah.
Victor Oladipo is not a blockbuster guy, but he's a productive guy.
He's a productive one, but I'm talking about blockbusters. I mean, guys that willing, like the James Harden trade. There's nobody out there in the league that you can say, hey, I want this guy and I'm willing to trade half the team for him just to get him. There aren't that many players anymore out there in this league.
Oh, well, that kind of player, no. I really don't think so, unless the guy wants out completely and the team is actually willing to meet his demands. I don't see a blockbuster player involved in a blockbuster deal, but I do see several very good players who could probably fit into a group of contenders. For example, I just got over the wire that Aaron Gordon wants out of Orlando, and also
Gordon wants out of Orlando.
Aaron Gordon suddenly wants out of Orlando after signing that big contract.
Why do you think that's happening?
What's that?
Why do you think that's happening?
Because the Magic are not making enough moves to try and be a contending team. I mean, think about it. It's the Orlando Magic. A team with management that has been a little slow at the wheel to try and make some stuff happen. And I also hear that Nikola Vucevic, Gordon's teammate on the Magic, he might also command a lot in a deal.
Do you think they're gonna Drummond? Do you think he'll take a buyout, or do you think that the Cavs will trade him?
My guess is that the Cavaliers will make a buyout of Drummond, and he'll go somewhere that really needs a center.
Because the Knicks are eyeing him, and
yeah,
so
they've been eyeing
Lakers,
him for a long time.
And the Nets are eyeing him. I mean, he's getting a lot of, eyes on him, but the Cavs are not playing him. Now, the guy that I'm surprised is not getting any talk is Kevin Love.
Yeah. I think I might know why, too.
Why?
Because Kevin Love, in spite of his offensive prowess, he does not play any defense whatsoever. He gets lost defensively. Not only that, but he's just not a guy that moves the needle as far as what a team is looking for to try and improve their play on the post.
Well, here's one. Celtics eyeing John Collins and Lamar Aldridge. Both expected to be traded or buyout targets for Boston.
Yeah, I've heard that also. I'm surprised that John Collins is on the trading block because John Collins seems like a kind of guy that can help the Hawks.
And remember we were talking about Drummond?
Mm-hmm.
New York joined the Lakers and Nets as teams interested in the two-time All-Star.
Interesting.
So even the Knicks are interested in him. Well, I can see him because Mitchell Robinson is going to be out.
Yeah.
Now, do you think if the Knicks get him, can he improve the team?
Can he improve the team? I suppose he can improve the team. I mean, he'll give them height. He'll give them rebounding. He'll give them a steady presence defensively.
But he's not one of those people that you can say, yeah, if you put the game on him, he's not going to win you a championship. He's got to have pieces around him.
Yeah, exactly.
And Kristaps Porzingis, another one. Another guy that's been hearing trade rumors.
Mm-hmm.
The man that the brother wanted to trade him, his brother is his agent, the way he left the New York Knicks.
Yeah.
And do you think that the Knicks made a bad move in
trading Porzingis? It's hindsight at this rate. I think it's a little too late to try and look back on what happened there.
No, but at the time, do you think that trade was bad?
It was bad for the Knicks because of the return that they got.
Well, they did get, how many draft choices? 2?
That's the only legit capital that they wound up getting in that deal. Other than that, Dennis Smith Jr., who turned into nothing, Tim Hardaway Jr., who was erratic. I mean, that's the return that the Knicks get for a potential all-star big man. Got to do better than that.
Yeah, I can see. I mean, and the Celtics name keeps on popping up too a lot. Like, for instance, Jeremy Grant is another one that the Celtics want.
Yeah, I can see why. Jeremy Grant has had a fantastic season this year. And he's been the lone bright spot on a Pistons team that's been putrid all season.
And I don't see, I just don't see what some of these players are, because you have players such as Lonzo Ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's playing on a fantastic team. And Zion Williams is supposed to be a big name, and you don't hear nothing from the kid.
Zion Williamson?
Yeah.
You don't hear from him because he's playing in New Orleans. That's why. But to
Yeah,
give
but
you an idea, Zion Williamson has had a very, very, very good season.
it's quiet.
Quietly, he's had a very good season.
Yeah, he's had a very good season, but but he was supposed to be the second coming of LeBron James. Not that there's any, but he was supposed to be that type of player where he was supposed to make you shake and bake and all that. Put eyes on the team. And he's just been a quiet, strong player.
Mm-hmm.
And
part of it has to do with the fact that he plays in New Orleans, a city that really does not move the needle when it comes to the NBA.
But if you're a fantastic player, think about it. LeBron James, no matter where he went, there was always eyeballs on the kid. From beginning to end. It didn't matter. If you're a damn good player and people want to see you, they're going to talk about you like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think that the Heat have a chance to get Kyrie Lowe?
You mean Kyle Lowry?
Yeah, Kyle Lowry.
That's another guy who's been rumored for months about going somewhere. Him and Jimmy Butler would make a very, very good backcourt.
And Miami dangling Leonard and more for Aldridge. Lamar Aldridge.
You mean Lamarcus Aldridge?
Yes.
Lamarcus Aldridge, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Spurs might have told him that his time is winding down in San Antonio, so they're going to try and look to either buy him out or trade him someplace. I think I know why too. Because his average has been going down.
You know that?
What's that?
Houston won't trade Christian Wood.
They won't trade Christian Wood? I wouldn't put too much stock into it. I mean, the Rockets need players, and Wood is a pretty productive player.
But it's just OKC to trade Diallo to Pistons. Diallo. Damn. Palmetto Diallo. Damn, what the hell is his name? Thunder Guard to Detroit in exchange for, these damn names I can't even pronounce. Damn. I'm telling you, though.
Mm-hmm.
But going back to football for a sec, because, Houston Rockets seem to be dumping everyone. The Jets seem to be doing. What do you think their plan is, though? Are they trying to get younger, or what are they trying to do in your opinion?
My guess is that they're trying to get a little bit younger, although it really wasn't a problem for them last season because they had a rather young roster overall, and seeing what they're doing as far as wanting to improve offensively is concerned, and seeing what they want to do at quarterback, or what they haven't decided what they want to do at quarterback.
What do you think they should do?
What they should do? What they really should do is trade Sam Darnold, because you look at the numbers that he's put up since he got drafted in 2018.
Right.
And you look at the other guys that were drafted with him.
Right.
Josh Rosen and Saquon Barkley and all the other quarterbacks. They've actually put up better numbers than Sam Darnold has in that span. Not only that, but Do you really want a quarterback who the best he could do for a whole season was 9 touchdowns? I mean, it's gotten to the point where the Jets really have to decide whether this guy wants to be the man or not.
But the other thing is, will you get some decent people coming back, or do you think, as we talked about last week, which is since he has nobody to throw the ball to, is it really his fault?
Part of it is not really his fault because he still does not have a number 1 wide receiver to throw to. But the other part is his fault because he hasn't been able to see the field very well.
But that was his rap before when he first came up.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That he couldn't see the field.
Yeah.
But the Giants are signing Austin Johnson.
Right.
Giants pushed to sign Leonard Floyd.
Now that would be interesting.
You know, they're trying to sign again Austin Johnson. Austin Johnson returns to D-line. There is a lot of things that the Giants are doing. Now, same question. Where do you think the direction of that team is going? Even though they didn't do much, they haven't done much of anything.
Well, they've got the right coach to take them to the next level, and that's Joe Judge. There's also the matter of Saquon Barkley, whether he's going to fully heal from his knee injury or not. Plus, there's the issue of Daniel Jones. Believe it or not, Daniel Jones has actually had his moments where he can be a really good quarterback. I mean, look at what he did the first time out against Tampa 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when he led them to a come-from-behind victory. And then there was this past season during the 5-game winning streak. So it's not like he forgot to play quarterback. The kid is good and has some skills. He just needs a little bit more polish.
Right. You know, let me ask you something also, and that is going back to Sam Darnold for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
And that is, you know, Chicago and Washington Redskins almost made the playoffs last year, or they did make the playoffs last year.
Washington made the playoffs as an Eastern Division champion.
Yeah. And Chicago, the Chicago Bears, But, you know, one of the people are predicting that if the Jets get a quarterback that, again, going back to the article, which is Bears, Washington, and the Niners are getting into this. Now, what do you think that the Bears, Redskins, and 49ers, what do you think they could offer for Donald? What do you think would be good for them from each team? And who do you think that they would give up to get him?
You mentioning Khalil Mack sounded really, really good. I would not mind having Khalil Mack patrolling the defense at linebacker. That's number one. Number two, I think the Jets need a major pass rusher. And number three, they need a stud guy in the secondary.
Who do you think, which team has the best person to get that? Bears, the Redskins, or the Niners? Or even the Seahawks if they're going to trade them? Which team has your dream pick to get that?
Well, I'm all about defense, so I would have to say the Bears. And the Bears have predicated their history on defense.
So you would think a top guy, and let's say the number 2 pick to get Darnold.
Wait, repeat that again?
A top guy from the Bears, a defensive guy from the Bears,
Mm-hmm.
and a number 2 draft choice.
Yeah, I would say that would work.
That's how much he's worth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Keep in mind, this salary cap is hamstringing a lot of people, so
except
it
for
can
the
only be that much.
Except for the Jets, they actually have a good. They're good this year with the salary cap.
Mm-hmm.
And
don't forget, the Jets are not going in completely in the tank because they did hire Robert Saleh to be the new head coach. And I think that he could probably do something with that team. However, it's built.
Do you think he's the right coach for the Jets?
I think he could be a guy that can take him to the next level. Yes.
I hope so, because we keep on dreaming. You know, we keep on dreaming that every time they hire a coach, yeah, this guy's going to do it. Yeah, this guy is a great coach. He's going to do it. And then all of a sudden, he's dead to the world. He doesn't do anything. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. Ex-Giants guard Kevin Zettler explains why he signed with the Ravens.
Yep. Kevin Zettler re-signed with the Ravens. And the Giants re-signed Nate Solder, which they were roasted for when they first got the guy about 3 or 4 years ago.
And Kenny Galate?
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that he could be the next Plaxico Burress.
Well,
is he that good?
Well, I doubt it, because Plaxico was a really special player when he played for the Steelers and the Giants. But we'd have to take a wait-and-see approach on this kid.
Here's a good title. Listen to this one. Will top free agent receivers pass on risky Daniel Jones? Do the Giants even want one?
Tell you what, it wouldn't hurt the Giants to take a receiver with their first-round pick.
That's true, but the way they talk about Daniel Jones is not as if he's rocking the world either. He could be better than Sam Darnold, but he's not. I don't know. When you're a Jets or a Giants guy, you're expecting the Giants to be defense, a defensive team, because they're known for their defense too. And the Jets have been known for their defense as well when they had the sack exchange. And they've had, all these years, decent defense.
Mm-hmm. Not
the greatest, but decent. But comparing the two, I don't know. It seems as if they have no direction. And I'm trying to figure out which direction are they going, because every team that you see and hear, they always have some type of direction. Such as the Redskins, right?
Mm-hmm.
They know that all they need is a quarterback and maybe one or two. So they know the direction that they're going. The Bears, you know what direction they're going. Some of these teams, the majority of these teams, you know which direction either they're going to sell a firestorm, or they're going to be, or they're going to be pickers. But with the Jets, you can't tell, and with the Giants, you can somewhat tell, but they're still not giving you that. okay, this is the real direction that we're going in, and we're going to stick to this plan. Do you think I'm right on that?
It's true. I mean, it's hard to figure out what the Giants are doing when all they've done is let certain guys go and bring back the same people from the previous year instead of trying to go out there and look for some new blood. But to be honest with you, I wouldn't put too much stock in it because that's what we have a draft for.
You know, I found an article, and it states here, what do you think about the Giants trading for Russell Wilson?
I doubt that it's going to happen because the Giants just don't have the capital to try and give the Seahawks what they're looking for. But, I mean, we are allowed to dream. And I still think Russell Wilson is a terrific quarterback, though.
2 future first-round draft picks to settle for Wilson immediately.
Would I trade my first-round draft pick? This year's first-round draft pick?
Two first-round draft picks plus Daniel Jones to Seattle for Wilson.
Daniel Jones for Russell Wilson with a draft pick involved, straight up.
Two draft picks. 2
draft picks involved.
Number 1 draft picks. 2 number 1 draft picks.
Wow. I doubt the Seahawks would want Daniel Jones. And another thing, why would the Seahawks trade away their franchise quarterback who's gotten them their only Super Bowl title?
Maybe he doesn't want to be there no more. How old is Wilson?
I think he's 30 years old.
Maybe he doesn't want to be there no more because maybe Seattle can't take his contract. That could be another thing, too.
I mean, I don't know of any conflict that's going on between the two sides. It can't be that. I don't know if Wilson has not said publicly that he wants out. So unless he says something, we're going to have to take a wait and see approach on whatever kind of trade rumors are going on.
And here's a one, too. Giants reportedly like Steelers OLB, Bud Dupree.
Bud Dupree, huh?
Yep.
Who's an outside linebacker.
Yep.
Well, he would definitely help. They need help at linebacker.
It's just funny, that. Do you think that this year's draft choice in the NFL, is that going to stir up a lot of people to go, yeah, we got to see it, for the non-hardcore fans?
You mean, are you talking about Trevor Lawrence?
No, I'm talking about in general the NFL draft this year, right? Do you think that the NFL draft this year is going to be exciting, or do you think it's going to be okay because of the players that are coming up?
I would say it's just okay because there's only one main superstar that's potentially going to blow the roof off the joint when he makes his way to the league, and that's Trevor Lawrence. Other than that, I don't see any other kid that moves the needle for an NFL team to really go after.
Who's got the number 1 pick right now?
Jacksonville.
Who do you think they're going after?
They're going after Trevor Lawrence.
Really? They're going after a quarterback?
They want a quarterback because they need a quarterback in the worst way.
And who would be, the Jets are number 2.
Mm-hmm.
So who's left for the Jets to take if they decide to take a quarterback?
Well, Let me find that out right now.
And if they don't take a quarterback, who do you think they're going to take? I think they'll probably take a wide receiver.
They should
Unless
take a
there's
wide
someone out
receiver
there
in
in
the
the
worst
free
way.
agency, but in free agents.
My friend, your guess is as good as mine.
Even with the mock draft that they have, they don't know who's number 2?
It could be anybody, to be honest with you. They don't have their sights set on one particular guy.
Who would you pick as a quarterback if you had to pick a quarterback from that batch?
Well, I would definitely go with Trevor Lawrence. I think he's the best of the lot.
Okay, but he's going to Jacksonville.
Maybe Zach Wilson from Brigham Young.
Okay, what does he have? Give me the qualifications that can beat Sam Darnold. What does he have that Sam Darnold doesn't then?
If I'm not mistaken, I think Zach Wilson is a southpaw.
Okay. Could he read the field well? Could he read the field well? And also, does he cough up the ball a lot? I don't think so. I don't think he coughed up the ball that much. Not like Donald.
Well, he's not very tall for a quarterback. He's only 6'3" and 210 pounds, so he's not strong built.
6'3", 230. Good God.
6'3", 210.
Oh, 210?
210.
And he's short?
For quarterback standards, yeah. I mean, he's no Russell Wilson or Drew Brees, because both of those guys are undersized for a quarterback. Here he is.
What do you think he is, Doug Flutie?
Well, he does have a good arm, though.
Okay, let's go with the positives.
And he's also very quick. And he's also poised under pressure.
Okay, so he's got good feet work. He's poised under pressure. Can he throw from the pocket?
He can definitely throw from the pocket.
So he can see the field well.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he coughs up the ball a lot?
Well, it's possible because his timing could be a bit off. Usually it has to do with waiting until his receiver's into his break. And then,
okay.
And then Wilson would hit him with a laser beam, then throw it into his break and hit him with anticipation.
Is he better than Sam Darnold?
He's definitely better than Sam Darnold, that's for sure.
So that should be a no-brainer for the Jets then.
It should be, but let's see exactly what they do. I mean, they might...
If they go for a wide receiver, who's out there?
Wide receivers, let's see here. You'll have to excuse me, folks.
That's okay. I'll talk over you. Do you know how many women want me? Plenty.
None.
But, and the other question is, the Giants are picking number 11, right? In this year's draft choice?
The Giants are picking 11th, yes.
Okay. Now, who do you think they're going after? You know they're not going to get a quarterback, but who do you think they're going after from this batch?
Wait, repeat that again?
Who do you think in the draft choice the Giants will go after?
if the Giants are smart, they go after Devontae Smith from Alabama.
And
After
what
the
position
after
he
the
plays?
championship game that he had, all bets are off.
What are the chances of him going down to number 11 now?
They're decent. I mean, before this championship game, he was not really on the radar of a lot of NFL teams. But after that championship game that he had, he really raised his stock quite a bit. So as far as what receivers are out there to draft, I mentioned Smith. There's also Rashad Bateman of Minnesota. There's also Jalen Waddle, who is Devontae Smith's teammate at Alabama. And there's also Jamar Chase, who...
So out of the guys that you've seen, who do you think is going to be at number 11 for them?
And for the record, Jamar Chase is from LSU.
What was that?
For the record, Jamar Chase is from LSU. Now, what was your question again?
So at least because who's in front of the? Because I wish next time. Because when is the draft picks? This year? I mean, I know it's this year. Next week?
I think it's either April or May.
We'll get a list and see who should they go to.
Okay.
Which team should go to whom?
I'm thinking every draft pick should go to either the Giants or the Jets.
I think that'll be cool because then we can make our own mock drafts.
There you go.
Because everybody's doing it, why can't we?
Mm-hmm.
But switching gears for a moment, the mighty Knicks, they're mighty.
I hardly think that a team that's one game over 500 can be classified as mighty.
They blew that game. They lost by a lot, and they came back. That means that they have good poise, but their schedule is.
The schedule looks really brutal.
I don't know about the schedule. I think it's going to hurt them. And also, do you think that they'll stay put? Or do you think that they'll get someone?
You mean roster-wise?
Roster-wise, yeah. Do you think they'll get Drummond, Victor, or Lonzo Ball? Because that's all they talk about. If you listen, if you read anything, that's all they talk about. Oh, Lonzo Ball. Oh, Victor. Oh, this guy. That 39-year-old, that 36-year-old player, they could still shoot the three ball.
Let me tell you, Victor Oladipo is a very productive player. He's also a very clutch player. Now, as far as Lonzo Ball is concerned, Lonzo Ball has been okay. I mean, he hasn't been great. I'm not sure I would put him in the same backcourt as Emmanuel Quickly, but unless they want to make Quickly the shooting guard and have Ball be the point guard, it would make them a little bit more dangerous. Let's put it that way. As far as who was that other guy that you were mentioning? Was it Andre Drummond?
Yeah.
Andre Drummond can help a contender with his height and his post play. And he's also a very sound defender, too. So he would actually help somebody that's really, really lacking in the interior. And I mentioned before that the Brooklyn Nets have been needing a lot of height. They're in desperate need of height in order to contend with teams like the Sixers, who already have a dominant big man in Joel Embiid.
Well, they're saying here that he can go to the Lakers, Nets, and they're saying here that if they trade for Drummond, if the Knicks trade for Drummond, it will probably cost them a second-round pick and 2 of the 3 fillers from their expendable players like Austin Rivers, Frank Ntilikina, or even Kevin Knox. The Cavaliers are believed to be seeking an asset in return for Drummond. But if the Knicks wanted to join the Drummond sweepstake via buyout, what can they offer in a multi-year deal to pry him away from a minimum deal? I mean, they can't do much. I mean, you either if he accepts a buyout, he's going to want to go to a contending team that they know that they're going to make the playoffs and win a championship. I could see him going to the Lakers because that's the easiest choice. But the Western Division, it's not as tough this year as it was a year ago, or I'm sorry, 2 years ago. Has it been?
Has it been what?
The Western Division hasn't been tough.
It's been very tough. And it's not just the Lakers either. It's Denver. It's the Clippers. Golden State has been very dangerous all season. There's also been San Antonio, who's been pretty dangerous. Dallas has been okay.
But I'm just going because
Utah, by the way, has had a dynamic season.
Who?
The Utah Jazz. They've had a dynamic season. And I think right now they would be well on their way to the Western Conference Finals, but I doubt that they could beat the Lakers.
Yeah, I tell you, Nets versus Lakers. You still say that the Nets would lose?
I still say the Nets would lose to the Lakers. Is it because they don't have no bench? I think the Laker bench is better than the Net bench.
It's a tough call because again you have 4 All-Stars and they're all used to. I mean, you got Kevin Durant who's been to the dance and won. You got Kyrie Irving who's been to the dance and won.
Yeah.
You got James Harden who always goes to the dance but never wins.
Mm-hmm.
And Blake Griffin, who's gone to the dance. He never won, but he's carried a team. Now, I know he's a little older.
Yeah.
But, comparing the teams are something else. I'll put it that way. Comparing the teams are something else. Hey, Jamie.
Yes?
Are you glad that sports are coming back to Staten Island?
I'm always glad that sports is coming back to Staten Island.
Because I think the high school is going to start opening.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's a hard decision as a parent.
Yeah.
I think because, you want your kid to have a good education, but can you trust them to have, because of COVID, because it's not going to go away anytime soon. I mean, it'll get probably better. If people follow the directions properly, it'll get better by, let's say, next year.
Right.
But the only thing is, it hurts the kids who may have a shot at a sports scholarship.
Yeah, this is true.
And that's where you go. That's where you would take the chance. So
do you think that the colleges, if they really wanted to see someone, they would go by what they did the year before? And then say, okay, let's try this guy out. Let's try that guy out.
Not just 1 year, several years. And I just got word that the Jets have signed Corey Davis.
Oh!
That's a good one.
Cool.
Corey, 3 years, $37.5 million, including $27 million guaranteed.
And for those
a good
people
pickup
that
for
don't
them.
know him, what position he plays?
He's a wide receiver.
Good choice.
Very good choice. They wound up filling a need.
They well, at least they filled one need, because they still need a guy that can, run the ball.
This is true.
But I still think they shouldn't have traded Le'Veon Bell, but I don't know. Maybe it frees up more money, but I don't know. I don't know. But the Jets made something good happen.
Yes, they did.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if they do this, what are the chances of them trading for a quarterback if they're getting good players?
I mean, at this rate, anything is possible.
Because if they're getting if they're getting wide receivers, you're not going to draft another wide receiver, would you? Oh, yes, you would, because you need at least a couple. Which wouldn't be that bad. But as you said, if they draft a quarterback and they kept Darnold, if they kept him, there'd be controversy, quarterback controversy, but who knows?
Right.
Who knows? Who knows? But Yankees coming back, Mets are coming back.
Yep.
Spring training's coming back.
Mm-hmm. It's been back. We're just waiting for the regular season to start in April.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't snow.
Oh, brother, that's the last thing we need. I remember 25 years ago when the Yankees had their home opener against the Rangers at the old stadium. There was a major snowstorm that took place that day, and probably one of the more iconic shots that we could see was Andy Pettitte with that steely stare of his. He was the starting pitcher that day, delivering heat for the majority of that game.
That is something that's going to be a sight to see with all the new rules. And in the playoffs, are they going to have the universal DH, or are they going to do the split this year with that?
They will not do a universal DH.
Did you like the universal DH?
I didn't have a problem with it, to be honest with you.
Or did it? Well, because remember, the purists would say, oh, so much tragedy and all that. And I'm going, if you want to see hitting, you got to take the pitcher out because, there's no pitchers that hit like Babe Ruth anymore.
Yep. Yeah.
But at 7:59, the last question of the day, which is the Nets, are they past the Knicks in rivalry? Do you think that's gone, the rivalry, because the Nets are so good?
I think the rivalry could start to heat up a little bit because the Nets are so great and the Knicks are getting there. So I think it's picking up a little bit.
Well, on that good note, it's 7:59. Time to say adieu.
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 But seriously, thanks to Kenny Graham on the other side of the glass, and thanks to Hector, as always.
That's great, That's great.
Mm-hmm.
We'll
so
see
for everyone
you
here,
next bad time.
I'm Jamie.
I'm Hector.
Enjoy the NCAA tournament, which starts next weekend. Good night.
Nighty-nighty.